must have been local guys were doing this right, but I'm assuming I'm just apexing this too early, or maybe I'm coming on the throttle too early, because I was having that issue when I was riding the inside line or coming outside.
So if you're going back to throttle, 10 feet early, it would force you a lot wider here.
Yeah. So I'm noticing there's a little straight here. Maybe this is the appropriate place instead of before that apex.
So I do try when I exit to try to exit like in the middle of the track.
Yeah.
So if I do hit the gas a little early, I have plenty of thing to not slow down to stay on track. I can still go full speed.
Right.
I'm just will be slower down there.
Yeah. I was fighting coming off this side. It was getting too far.
But I definitely try not to swing back left here to make the downhill easier. If I'm over here, I'm over here. I'm not trying to make the track a lot longer, going way left over this crest or before the crest to then go right.
That Mustang we were talking about here, Todd, he was going fast on this outside line in the wet. He was hooked up over there.
Probably because the track out there is still plenty of grip in the wet. Because in the dry, everyone's not trying to be there. So there's lots of grip there.
I think it was fine here. I was just coming out wide in that short chute when there was some standing water. And I was lifting to not get into that water. I think I was just throttle on too early. Now that I'm looking at the bank, and this little elevation change, you can take it at any point on the track. Obviously you're not going to be out left, but it's okay to hug it here and drop down right there.
There'll be times where I'm hitting the curbing, only because you can't see it on the right side.
Yeah.
But that's what I am trying to do. I am trying to actually apex this turn that's over a crest. And then most medium speed cars and slower, you don't hit the brakes until you hit the bottom in the dry. As you start getting medium speed and faster, you have a decision to make. Do you brake just before the crest, or do you purposely straight line and like anchor the ABS like as you're coming down the crest, if you have ABS, or lock tires up?
Yeah. It seems like the track comes back up though to assist you with that. Is that, am I going to be right?
I think it's still downhill. I think I think that's just what you're seeing is how steep this downhill is.
Yeah.
And I think it's not uphill until the next turn.
I was definitely on the inside, the leading edge of this.
Yeah. And I felt like if anything, I could brake less going into this, because actually now you can see it, a little camber into that double right. So I found that actually I could brake less than I needed to and just turn in.
And you can see the scratches in the pavement here of all the cars compression scratches right there.
Yeah, that's a good camera. Yeah, you can see the
all the low cars when they just slam on the brakes. And then I try to just drive in a straight line towards the outside track.
Yeah.
I don't drive left to prepare for this track, to prepare for this turn early. I like braking in straight lines. What can I say? I'll trail brake a lot, but I like to do most of my braking in a straight line.
So this is a spot where I was on the ABS almost all the time, one way or another. I was trying to be straight here, even though I was still getting closer to the edge of the track.
But the car's in a straight line.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
I was trying to stay right off of it because I felt like if I just released and turned in, I was fine. And now I see why you got the camera show.
And there's a little bit of elevation change going up.
Yeah.
So with the camber and elevation up helps us.
Yeah.
So, a lot of this turn you'll get a lot of help, more help than you think you would.
I think we were talking about, actually maybe it was another corner, but this one I was not worrying about the apex, but it actually seems like you got more camber down here, don't you?
It does look like that first pavement is a little more cambered than everything else.
Yeah. So it is important to be a half car length closer here, just take advantage of this then, right? Or is it fine here because it's flat? I know you're mostly worried about that apex, but does this give you assistance, or it's not much of a matter of the speed?
think there's like the M3 on the hand clips. It's a mixture of things, because the whole goal is how soon can you go flat for this section.
Right.
So if you're too far inside, it pinches this one too much, and you can't quite go flat because you'll either understeer off or you're fighting the rear end. But in the dry, you know, near the exit of the apex, you're flat the rest of the way.
Wow. Okay.
If in the wet, of course, you're not. But if you miss the line a little bit there, and you try to go flat, you'll end up on the outside in the grass here.
Shifting right up on that paint that's in your car.
More debris.
Yeah, I thought it looked like metal, but it's not. So I tried this whole 8A, 8B in 4th gear yesterday in the wet, and taking that shift away right here
Will help the car.
Yeah, this is actually where I spun the car out of 3 to 4 shift on Friday.
I did see the car here, and then you struggled to get it up the wet grass.
No, I never left
me.
it.
That was you?
The guy, because that was like right here where he tapped me out, and I ended up straddled on this. Yeah, I was trying to stay way off this for exactly what you're saying, Steve. I was concerned about the down or the upshift, throttle, and paint, but I feel like you need that drive up there, up the hill.
Yeah, I did a.
Can you stay in 4th in the dry here?
Well, in the dry it's 3rd, 4th, and as you go up the hill, you're like, should I use 5th? Like, it's just fast enough in the dry where the M3 is like, should I use 5th?
Yeah.
Should I not use 5th?
When I got, I think I went to 5th gear on 1 lap when it was dry. I had like 3 dry laps, or close, right in the driest laps.
Yeah.
And I went to 5th. But I don't like taking your car all the way until the lights come on anyway.
You get better fuel mileage if you don't.
Yeah. We are endurance racing.
And the M3 does not have a big fuel cell, so that's one of the downsides of my M3 is in the dry it can't go close to 2 hours. So we usually try to take advantage of full course yellows for pit stops because we know we have to take an extra one anyways.
Right.
So especially on like the 8-hour day, 7 hours really close in the dry, you can just get through like an hour 40 of dry tide, and then you do the pit stop, and then you get it's just long enough on a 7-hour day. On the 8-hour day, you really can't squeeze it extra time. So we almost always have an extra pit stop in the M3 on the 8-hour day. So we always try to take advantage of it during full course yellow. Because instead of losing 3 laps or 2 laps or 2.5 laps, we lose 1 lap. So let's see, were you guys around the grocery getter at all yesterday? The station wagon?
The Beamer.
The Beamer station wagon?
Oh yeah, that was great looking.
So I think 2 years ago, had a misshift because it's a Spec 46 build basically, and they have a shift point right here in the dry, and I think it's the 5th, yeah. And my understanding is money shift it accidentally got 3rd. Because of it's a turn, spun it right into the wall up there by the turn station. And the inside.
Yeah, I think when I spun, I was going to 4.
Was that shifting too late?
For who?
No,
On that,
wrong gear.
oh,
No,
wrong gear.
So he was supposed to shift to 5th, and then accidentally got 3rd, and it sent the car sideways.
There's no wrong turn. Yeah, if you're shifting up though, right here, there's really no wrong time to do it.
Well, I never like shifting up hills.
Okay, there we go.
So if you shift right before the hill and it's a short shift, or you just hold it until after the hill, and you decide, like, you do it once or twice in practice to see where on the hill is the shift, to decide if it's better to hold it the rest of the way or to shift early at the bottom of the hill. Because, like we were talking about last night, your shift time that you're not accelerating, because you're going uphill, is like double or triple what it would normally be.
Yeah.
Slowing down. So because when you shift, you're not accelerating. If you shift on an uphill, you're actually slowing down instead of coasting. So it's even worse to shift up a hill. So it's much better to short shift than to shift on a hill.
The shift is going to take the same amount of time no matter what.
You're just slowing down more now.
Have more speed loss if you do it when you're going uphill.
And this part, watching from outside in the dry, you can tell a lot of Lucky Dog cars don't go full throttle through here because you can't see where the track is.
Yeah. I was off the path. High gear, and then the inside there.
So in the dry, in the M3, basically you're bouncing off the rev limiter in fourth. As you straight line through here, you're full throttle and you're basically bouncing off the rev limiter 6,800 RPMs in fourth gear.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that to your motor.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is,
We've been told, no, not by you, but just
yeah.
in general, we don't hit the rev. So it was absolutely.
Well, the lights come on, I think at 60, I think they start flashing at 63.
Yeah.
So they start coming on at, I think 58 is when the light starts coming on. And then you just try, so you're over here track left, coming up the hill, and you can't really see the end of this curbing, so you can't use this as a reference point. But as you're walking, it's a crest thing, so over the crest you just barely start turning a little bit. And from this point, you try to make it straight a line as possible until you hit the brakes for the sharp turn. So when you're online and you're really going, you don't hit the brakes until after